We're live. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's Ebony with Homeschool Knockout. Sorry, I am a little tardy. It is really so early in the morning, and so I had to redo my lighting because it's dark, and I had to move my ring light and move everything around. You see, I'm back on the couch from the old days. Turn that down. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. Now, if you look at the title of this video, it is not academic resources for homeschooling middle school. I changed it to middle school parent doubts, your questions answered, because when I was looking at the curriculum, I thought, you know what? I don't want to send you guys into the wild, wild west of curriculum. Sorry, guys. I just finished working out, as y'all can see, and I'm hot and I'm trying to get it together. So I didn't want to send you into this labyrinth of all these resources. So I wanted to give you, I love chia pudding. I wanted to give you some more armor before we talk about academic resources in the next video, okay? You're going to love this one. I'm going to address maybe 6 or 7 common homeschooling doubts about homeschooling your 6th grader, 7th grader, or 8th grader. Doesn't matter what their ages are, okay? So real questions, real talk. No guilt trips, okay? So, as some of you know, you guys picked this time, Tuesdays, 6 a.m., well, 6:45 a.m. West Coast time or East or Pacific time, 9 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. So we'll see how this goes, and we'll play it by ear, and we'll try maybe Wednesday morning or Thursday. We'll just see how it goes. Okay, so what is really going through your head at 11 o'clock at night when you're staring at your half-used curriculum, or you're like, okay, this experiment's not working out, or this child is a totally different child from a year or two ago? So what we're going to talk about as our first doubt, because you're looking at this human in front of you and you're like, I don't know if I know how to teach you anymore, or your needs seem to be different. So one of your first doubts that's going to come in, and we're going to start with writing, okay? And I'm going to hit on writing, reading, math, and common doubts that sneak in those arenas, those topics, okay? The number one, not number one, but number one, but not number one overall, but the first doubt that parents have or questions they have is, do I need a separate writing curriculum? Now, if you've been following me, you know I've gone through the gamut with writing curriculum. Oh my God, especially in middle school. And I found something that I love that worked for my family, and I made a lot of videos about it. But when I was trying to figure out a curriculum, I was thinking, do I need a separate writing curriculum? Okay. And just like a quick summary, y'all, reading and writing aren't the same muscles. Okay. You're not using the same muscles. Your child could be an avid reader, but writing sends them into tears, or vice versa. So they don't go hand in hand. And for some curriculum programs, they'll merge both together. For example, oh gosh, what's the Book Shark? It will integrate. It does a lot of integration of subjects, especially the language arts, and you'll have reading and writing and grammar and vocabulary and spelling, literature and all that good stuff, all integrated, which I love because we're a story-based, literature-based learning family for all subjects, including science and math. But for some kids, that's too much. So no, you do not need a separate writing curriculum. So I don't want to give a lot of curriculum recommendations, but if you want a separate writing curriculum, just so you can just focus on reading at your own speed or your own time, This is why I didn't want to do the academic resources, because I want to show it to you. But let me just show it to you. Okay, so one of my personal favorites, if you want to separate writing from reading, okay, is, and it's fairly cheap, and it's the most amazing curriculum. Well, I'm sorry, it's the most amazing. It's not a whole curriculum, it's like in piecemeal. But it teaches writing. She teaches writing amazingly. And that is Stacy Lloyd. She is on Teachers Pay Teachers. I have done I think 2 videos on her. I've done a high school series on her work, and then I've done like some of her specific lessons, just because her work is really good. But for other, hold on, you know what? I'll just give you some writing resources here. I'll just give you some writing resources, because you're going to ask. I already know it. You're going to ask. So let me just pull it out. I wrote them all down so I wouldn't have to bring all the books in here. But no, you do not need that. But it is going to require more time on your behalf if you separate that out. Okay. And we'll talk about that in the next video on resources. Okay. But to answer that question, hold on. Where am I? Oh, I guess it's still on the computer. Never mind. So you don't need a separate writing curriculum. So what you're going to do, you'll find a writing curriculum that hits all the standards for that grade level, just as a baseline. Doesn't mean you have to follow it because you're homeschoolers, but you want to find the ones that, you know, they're going to introduce expository writing, persuasive writing, narrative, all of that, you know, breaking down a 5-paragraph structure, how to do research, academic writing, not in all in that order. But you're going to look for the basics of that. And then you'll just plug in, if you want to do a separate writing curriculum, maybe you want to do it on your own, which is what I did for a while. You know, you can have your own writing prompts. You just have the structure for the writing that you want your child to do. And then you just choose what you want them to write about. And then you'll have a routine, what they work on each day or every other day. Side note, one of the future videos will talk about schedules and routines for setting up for doing writing, because I know that plagues a lot of middle schoolers and high schoolers. Okay. So I already have that mapped out. But for the separate writing curriculum, you just go ahead and just plug in what, say for the first 4 weeks, you're doing narrative writing. Okay. Find out what, you know, pick the topics, or let your child pick the topics they want to choose from. And then each week you're working on something. So at the end of the month, you have something completed, or you have a couple of things or essays or projects done. Okay. Then you bring in your literature components. They can align with the writing, but be totally different. Okay. Maybe if you're doing narrative writing, maybe you're reading something about 18th century British women's stories, whatever. You can always integrate that together, but you don't have to have everything together. You can definitely have a separate writing curriculum. So I hope I made that clear. I know I went too long on that, but the reason why I say this is because writing curriculum tends to be very expensive, because lots of components make up language arts. Okay. And then, you know, writing gets thrown in there with literature and grammar and spelling and vocabulary and all of that. And you don't need all of that. Okay. So that's why I'm spending more time on that, because you'll spend the most money on that and for math. Okay. Let's see. So doubt number 2. What if my kids hate reading? All right. I have addressed this in so many live streams, and I need to make a separate video on that. So that will be coming. Okay. Listen. Reading counts, whether it's graphic novels, audiobooks, or fan fiction. Please trust me on this. It counts. Let me show you. Let me tell you why it counts. All right, hold on. Why reading counts. And I'm going to show you fun ways when we do the academic part. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to do the academic resources. I should do it subject by subject, because I just have too much stuff. It'll be a 4-hour live. Okay, so let me show you about the reading. Okay, why so much of it counts. Hold on. Remember the book I grabbed in the last live? I didn't put it back where I was supposed to. Anyway, it was like how to read literature like a professor, but it's the kids version. A lot of people don't know how to read. You just think your eyes are just going from left to right, reading the words and things like that. It's not really just like that. There's a lot more involved, okay? But reading. So you're getting creative. You're getting creative with reading, especially for your reluctant readers, right? This is a really popular book. It's the lost art of reading nature's signs. This is how you Jedi mind trick. Look out, no glitching, no green screen, no enhancement. This is how I look, everything. But this gets your kids to read in a sneaky but very fun way. It's for all ages, all ages. I think I did a video on this, but I never posted it. So I might have to pull it up. So I'll set it right here. But anyway, the Read Aloud book by Jim Trelease. He talks about, gathering with your children and reading aloud. Also, as an adult, reading out loud. Okay. It's not something that's done with just, your little toddler who's in bed who wants you to read Good Night Moon for the 200th time. Reading comes in all forms. For me, one of the whole points of reading is to spark curiosity, is to exercise that brain, the muscle memory, your working memory, the working speed. It's reading keeps your mind active. So you're not just reading for information, you're reading for pleasure, you're reading for biological and physiological benefits, and you're reading so your kid can get done with their stuff on the practical side. So a number of my academic resources, especially for literature, are graphic novels, Animal Farm. You think of classics, almost every real, true, great classic now has a graphic novel. And a lot of times those graphic novels are kind of better than the original because the artist, the illustrator is amazing. So when you're looking at, okay, my kid hates reading, don't put Little Woman in your kid's hand. Don't give them some drab, boring, think about what their interests are. So I'm talking about, and then they're in middle school, and so at that point, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is considered young adult. That's their category. YA. There are so many books out there. You got Percy Jackson, you've got Dave Pilkey, you got, of course, I have all boys, so I know all the boys stuff. You have just so many I can't even. I have a recommended book list. Check my YouTube, my channel. I do have a book list. I forget for what grade levels, but I think I hit 3 grade levels. I need to update that. Okay, update my reading list. And I hit all kinds of books. Okay, and I also have recommendations that are good for girls. So update reading list. And these are for getting your kid who doesn't like to read. Audiobooks. We live on audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks right now. If you start right now, your children will have a lifelong love of reading and an escape. Okay. So this is my library. I don't know if I'm going to show you all that. Okay. I have 48 titles. I am always, and look, it's not just, oh, you just have them. I read this stuff. I'm always immersed. And my kids have their little mini audiobook list. One of them, he doesn't really read as much because he has a lot of obligations, extracurriculars. But once they get into audiobooks, especially interactive audiobooks, and I do have a live stream or a video on interactive audiobooks for free. It's a free resource. It's on YouTube. This is part of my academic resources. His name is Steve Parker Audiobooks, and why I like him. Let me just pull it up. Any questions or comments so far? I know I'm going crazy because I just, came back from working out. And hey, Love Raw, I'm so glad you made it. And Rachel, thank you, my dear. Thank you guys for. I just saw your name somewhere, Rachel. I'm trying to remember where I saw your name from. I mean, I know your name, but I just saw it like earlier today. I don't know why. But let me just show you the Steve Parker audiobooks. Okay, my kids and I. It's like old. If for some of you old heads, let's see, Steve Parker that listen to audiobooks, and he does classics. Okay, so we are here. Let me share my screen. 82,000 subscribers. Okay, so let me share my screen. Now remember, I'm on a new streaming platform, so of course my thing keeps saying we cannot unlock this, but they are actually lying. Okay. Okay, so if you can see Steve Parker audiobooks, put a 1 in the chat for me, please, before I go on. Now, Steve does, and this is great for your middle schoolers because one thing that I've taught, please make a reading list for middle school girls. You know what? I will do that. And the reason why I'm going to do that, even though I have not raised girls, I have nieces, and I once was a girl. But I listen to other parents talk about, what their girls are reading. Also, because I always volunteer, I'm always around, I'm always nosy. I look to see the girls who actually have a book in their hand and not a phone. Now, I really pay attention to them, what they have in their hand. And I know Sarah J. Maas, like a Court of Thrones, is popular. I've seen that in a lot of hands. Hunger Games book. Ready there's another book that's similar to the Hunger Games. Anyway, I actually bought it because I'm like, oh, if these girls love it, I know my son will love it because it's kind of like in the vein of Hunger Games. But reading lists for girls too. Okay, so just because I don't have girls, I have eyes and I can see what other people are doing. Okay, good. You have oh, hey Anya, hey Crystal, everyone's in the chat. Okay, so you guys can see it. Cool. Let me go to the screen. So Steve Parker. So okay, so this guy. All right. So look what he has. I need to get a pointer with like a yellow circle around it. He's got the classics: Around the World in 80 Days, The Great Gatsby. Wait a minute, members only. He's never had that before. Oh well, this is new. I guess he's up in the ante, but he's got a lot of stuff that should be free. Okay, Around the World. Now he has two options. He has no SFX, that's not SEX. So it's just straight reading. And then he has it where they're it's interactive with actors and background noises, like Foley artists. You feel like you're there. He's got he's got a lot of this. Why is it only showing up Around the World? Well, anyway, he's got Animal Farm. He's got The Island of Dr. Moreau, Frankenstein. So you get an idea. Brave New World, War of the Worlds, People of the Black Circle. I never heard of that one, but he's got a lot. So you could definitely, plug that in. And I would play it, but I don't know if YouTube might give me a strike. But and there is another guy who I found out not too long ago. He's got Sherlock Holmes. So you don't always have to do the reading for assignments. It could just be for leisure, right? Or leisure. So if your child hates reading, oh, you know what? I want to show you the graphic novels so you know what I'm talking about. And I don't think I have any in here. But the graphic novels are so good. Let me tell you, they're very good. It's good. It's reading. So if your child hates reading, you get them graphic novels, you put them on audiobooks. If they have a favorite character, or a movie or a series, chances are a lot of people, like for Game of Thrones, a lot of people write fan fiction. It's just like people who are excited about the author or the story or the characters, and they start writing about it because they're so inspired by it. And a lot of times, sometimes that fan fiction that people create can become a book. So but it's a different kind of writing. It's in the trenches. It's like people who are like into this, like think of crazy people like Comic-Con or Dungeons and Dragon. Like they're not crazy, but they're like really dedicated into it. So they're putting out stuff like that, which would probably appeal to people who just want to get drawn in with someone's passion and excitement. So fan fiction, audiobooks, graphic novels, run with that if your child is a reluctant reader. Okay. Also, for free audiobooks, if you don't want to go on YouTube, you have Libby, Libby. Again, this will be on my academic resources. That's why I didn't want to do it today, because it was so much, and I'll have to probably break it down by subjects. Okay. But check that out. All right. So number 3, the number 3 doubt, okay, that we have. Should I start algebra in 8th grade? Oh my God. So we are a mathematical household. We are big into math. So for our family, with 2 of my kids, I have 3, with 2 of my kids, well, let me just put like this. No, you don't have to start algebra in 8th grade and think your child's going to be behind. And I'm going to tell you how you can do it. I have 3 different scenarios. My oldest child did algebra in 5th grade, very gifted mathematically. Pre-calculus in 9th grade. He's an outlier. My middle child, I had to spend 4 months teaching equivalent fractions. No joke, 4 months. But once he got it, and by the way, Life of Fred, Keys of Fractions were the breakthroughs. When I realized he learned best through literature-based teaching for math and science, the floodgates open. That's a story for another day. But the whole point, it took almost a semester just to get through fractions. He started algebra in 9th grade. Okay. He's just going to be on his regular trajectory. Algebra, geometry, algebra 2. He might do 4th year of math, probably consumer math. That's perfect for him. And then my youngest will be doing geometry in 9th grade because he's in algebra for 8th grade. Well, about to be in 9th grade, right? Okay, so I have 3 different scenarios. Yes to algebra in middle school. No, didn't do algebra in middle school. And then, well, basically those 2 options. Now, what's going to work for you? I will take mastery over speed any day. And let me tell you why. My son started doing math competitions in 1st grade, and he was in the math circle at UCLA, which is very hard to get into. And he was doing math Olympiads. And I'm saying all that to say, not to brag at all, because believe me, he's smart, but he's not the most motivated. But to say, I talked to all these parents over the years, and the parents of kids who are really gifted, and the parents of kids who the kids were just good because they had a work ethic, where they just, because the parents were cracking the whip on them. And the common thing that I found talking to the teachers, instructors, tutors, all of that, was that a lot of times these kids who were rushing through so they can hit that algebra in 8th grade or 7th grade, they had foundational gaps. Y'all, let me tell you, this is so true. You could be so advanced and have gaps in decimals, ratios, subtraction with zeros, things you never fully cemented. You showed a little bit of knowledge and know-how, but because you knew some other stuff, they figure, oh, well, you probably know that. Oh, you'll get it. It'll click. And it never did. And you never bothered with it. And then you just rolled on with life. And then when you get into high school, sometimes you're having these problems and you don't know why. And you don't think to go and check the foundations, because obviously if you're in this higher level math class, you've mastered the foundations. And that's not always the case. So if your child is algebra in 9th grade or 10th grade, but they're getting the mastery because that's the speed they need to go at, leave them there. If you feel because your ego is telling you they need to be at this math level, then put them and enroll them in an online self-paced math class like Mr. D's Math. My personal favorite is Silicon Valley high school. It's an online program. As a matter of fact, one of my sons is in that right now, because you can go at your own pace, and it's a way for you to get ahead. It's accredited. It's the WASC is accredited. Schools will take it. But your child can go at your child's pace, and then you can advance them grade levels, okay? But stay with the foundations. If they're not getting it, and the potholes are going to be decimals, it's going to be fractions, decimals, and really subtraction, like triple digit subtraction if they never master that. But the main pothole are fractions, okay, and decimals, because kids get sloppy. So if you're thinking, okay, should I start algebra? Only if they're ready, okay? Math is not a race, okay? Some kids hit algebra in 6th, others in 9th. Both are fine. It depends on your goals. What does your child, at this age, what your child wants to major in college, if they want to go to college, that could change 200 times. So, but if your child knows he or she wants to be an engineer or an architect, or they want to go into medicine where they need to have, higher level math skills, but they know it in their soul, but they don't have the math skills, you teach to mastery no matter how long. Y'all, I tell the story all the time about Khan Academy and the teacher in Southern California that took his 6th graders who were not grade level, and in a one school year, he had them almost at a 8th grade level. Khan Academy only. And he started them at the kindergarten level. You know why? Because he knew the secret. He knew kids have foundational cracks, no matter how good they are. And anyway, that's a whole nother video. I keep saying I'm going to make a separate video just on him and show you exactly what he did. Please hold me to that, because I forget stuff. Hold on. Math teacher video. All right, I'm going to catch up with some of these comments. Math teacher video with Khan, because y'all don't believe me. And I've done so many lives where I kind of embed it in it, and I never go through the lives because they're always so long. Oh, it's 7 o'clock already? Okay, I'm good. Okay, so mastery first. Now, one thing that you need to do if you're wondering, should my kids start algebra in 8th grade or in middle school? Please assess your child and see where they are. That's how you can find out if there are gaps, okay? I have a video. Let me pull that up. I have a video on math placement tests that are free. Let me find it. See, y'all, I forget how much information I put out because I talk too much. I need to make these podcasts because this is going to be long-winded. Math placement test. Let me see if my stuff comes up number 1 on YouTube. Math placement tests. Let's see if my videos are one of the ones that come up. Okay. How dare you, YouTube? You know my video should be up here. Okay, let me just put my name in. Now these, and I haven't updated this video, and it's an old video. Oh, it's 4 years old. All right, let me share this screen. So you're going to, wait, let me share the screen first. Okay. Okay, so you see this. Hold on.
In festival season, the town goes a little nuts.
Airbnb so it's not
and get paid.
It's dark. It's a 20-minute. Okay. It's a 20-minute video because I'm bumping my gums. Look at the background. I need to go back to that background.
What's up, guys? It's Nikki with that Homeschool Life.
But anyway, that's the video.
A surprise live.
Copy it, and I'll put the link down below.
Follow the part here. All right, let's see if that works.
Share.
Okay.
Copy.
How are y'all doing? I hope your weekend's getting off to a good start.
Down below.
Today, I am answering a viewer's comment. Well,
I don't think
she's a subscriber, so a subscriber's comment. I told y'all, when y'all leave comments, I read them and I answer them.
All right, let me catch up on my comments really quickly.
And I don't know if she wants me to say her name. So this one subscriber
Anya says, good morning.
Said that
all
her
right. And what
third grader,
boys, what grades are they going
in public
into?
school,
So my oldest
is showing really some gaps in his math knowledge. And I don't know if she was going to pull him out and homeschool him, or she was going to try to after school him. But essentially, that's a problem I see a lot with families, children who have mathematical gaps in their learning.
Okay, there I am. The one that took 4 months to learn fractions. He is going to be a junior. Oh my goodness, he's going to be a junior. As a matter of fact, he's leaving to go out of the country tomorrow on a study abroad program, and we got stuff everywhere. I don't even know why I decided to do this live today early in the morning, because I have so much stuff to do before I send him away. And then the baby will be a freshman in high school, and he's going to a private high school for football because it's a top-ranked football program. And I actually have to take him and his best friend because they have training in another city. But anyway, so thank you for asking. The boys are doing amazing, and you know what? I might try to get them to come on just to say hi. The oldest one is antisocial. The youngest one is a social butterfly. He'll be on here talking to y'all for like 5 hours trying to get y'all to invest in crypto like he is. But the boys are doing well. Thank you for asking. Hey, Gina, I remember you from the last live. I hope you're doing well. And you too, Diana. Hello, my son is only 8 years old, but he listens to Geeking Out podcast, which led to me getting the book. Now that's all he reads. That's wonderful. Let's write that down. Maybe I can add that to the academic list. Now he was interested in reading all about the Odyssey. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have a video. Hold on, right now. That's 2 lists. Okay, so I have a video on the Odyssey. I have this amazing book, and this is a quick little mini project you can do. This is when we were doing the classical. We were in a homeschooling family, but in the beginning, I mixed it up with Charlotte Mason, and classical. Okay, and for classical, we did all the Greek writers and philosophers. But for the Odyssey, watch my video. Let me see if I can pull it up. We made this amazing map that took us around the world. And anyway, I'm gonna pull it up for you and see if I can give you the link. But it's so fun, the Odyssey. And I think I have some pictures on my IG. Okay, here we go. Great girl, listen, I got the Lord, look how I looked back then. Oh, and I had the oranges in the background. Oh, this is so old. How old is this video? 4 years old. All right, let me give you the link. I'm gonna share my screen really quickly just so you know what to look for. Okay, but let me put the link in here. It's called the video is Greek mythology for kids.
You need the Odyssey, Homer's Odyssey.
And let's see.
Okay. And then you need Dolaire's.
Okay. So there it is. Greek mythology for kids.
And
right here.
Finally,
and I give you some resources and then a map you can make. Okay. It's so fun. My kids, to this day, my kids remember.
From Odysseus?
Oh my gosh, that's my. Oh, he's a junior now. That's the middle one. He is a junior. Oh my gosh.
You can write on the island.
Oh, I remember the green bedroom.
The right kind of small, so you have
okay, anyway. Let me get out of memory lane. Sorry, y'all. I'm back. Okay. So did you get that? Who was it that asked? Diana. Greek mythology, Greek mythology for kids. It's fun. All right. So let me see. Catching up on comments. Okay, Anya says, I plan on Algebra 1. Oh, I got something for you, Anya. I plan on Algebra 1 in 8th grade. However, with our charter school, because I know we're in the same thing, same state with everything, it will only count towards electives for their high school transcript. That's not true. And I'm going to tell you that in a minute. Is this a disadvantage or needed for college? No. So, because this is what happened with my kids. So, wait, connected default. Wait, can you guys hear me? It's saying default audio. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. I just got a message from Restream saying connection issues. All right. If everything sounds good, can you put a 1 in the chat? I'm getting a message from Restream. No, I'm unsure. Someone quickly put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me, okay? Uh-oh, you guys can't hear me? No one's giving me a 1. Can y'all hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay, so Anya asks, and this is in the state of California, algebra in 8th grade, it will only count towards electives. When you take so-called high school classes before high school, the 2 classes that will not count as electives are math and foreign languages. Why? They are sequential classes, meaning there is a way to test for proficiency before you go to the next level. So if you're doing algebra 1 and you pass it, obviously you're moving on to algebra 2 or geometry. There is a clear line of succession that is easily measured. So you will get the high school credit. I know this because I did this with my own child, okay? And my other one who took algebra 1 in middle school, okay? And college, my oldest one, and college, okay? Foreign language is the next one. There's a clear line of succession. So if you're doing French 1 and you pass, you can enroll in French 2 because you have proficiency in the previous level. So those are measurable components for math and foreign language. Everything else you get an elective because there's nothing to measure proficiency or knowledge or anything. And it's like all over the place, right? Your English program could be different from this English program, but equivalent fractions is the same in California as it is in New York, as it is in Saudi Arabia, as it is in Scandinavia. It's equivalent fractions. French verbs, the être, the aller, the avoir, it's the same whether you're in America, Japan. So those are easily measurable. You will get credit, but only if you're doing math or foreign language. You're doing history, social sciences, biology, you're only going to get the elective, okay? If you want to talk to me privately, DM me and we can talk on the phone. And don't y'all call me because Anya's been around forever, so she can do that. She can get me on the phone, and I'll talk you through that and what you need to do and what you need to show and what it's going to look like on your high school transcript. Okay, so let me know if that answers your question. All right, let's move on, my good people. Let's see. Gina says, saying, I really want them to understand it. Okay, I'm late in the comments. I'm thinking you're talking about reading, math. If I'm not on that, Gina, let me know or just re-ask your question because I'm catching up to the comments. I like to have the kids use the IXL math assessment once a month. Oh, beautiful. To see how we're doing. Just use it for the assessment. So my son who's going to private school, so they have like this summer program for the freshmen, and they use IXL. Now I used IXL years ago when it was kind of new as like a little supplement, like when my son was like struggling with fractions or like just say, here, get on this, we have a long car ride or something. But when he did it this summer, I looked at it, I was like, oh, they done grown up. So I actually liked it. So IXL, I don't know if it was free because it was through his school, but it's always a way to find something for free. But anyway, that's a good one, IXL. Hey, Katesh, it's good to see you, my dear. You're welcome, Gina. You're welcome. The video, okay, hopefully the video, I turned that off. So thank you for letting me know. I can't hear you because the video, okay, so we got that. Okay, thanks, guys. I know it was a mess. I was forgetting I had that other video on. What do you think of CTC math? Actually, now when my kids first did CTC math, they were at a charter school, a charter homeschool, and none of the parents liked it. I think CTC was discovery-based math, which is like Beast Academy, where you have to kind of, they don't always give you explicit directions and instructions. You have to kind of like struggle with what you're doing and figure it out, and then it gives you help. But it's discovery based, meaning you discover kind of what's, try to discover what's going on, and then we'll throw you a lifeline later. If I recall, that was CTC math back then, which is why the parents did not like it. But I know for the upper grades, I have not heard anything bad about it. So I don't know if it was a different type of program, because my kids were in fifth, and one child was in fifth. I think one was tail end of the tail end of elementary and the beginning of middle school. Yeah. But we opted out not to use it just because we already had strong math programs. But I've heard good things about it, and then the things I heard that weren't so positive was that their child really struggled to understand what was going on. But if I recall, some parents were telling me it didn't have to be that way. So I don't know enough about it, but I do know it is a popular math program. I do know there are parents who do like it. They have strong opinions about it, either for or against. Now, I would have to, now I do have a master's in curriculum design. Now, I would need to go and check it out and look at it and kind of get a feel so I can break it down for you. If I can if I can contact them, CTC Research, and then see what it's about. I should do that. And then I can give you more information, love for all, on what that is. So that would be dependent on me having time to contact them, see if I can get like a free trial, look at it, and see like how it's broken down, what's the approach, what's the pacing, all of that, and then see what's going on for the middle school level. All right. Let's see. Diana says, that's awesome. He loves geography, so this would be amazing. We are also doing history class. Oh, that's a good one. Ancient history. So this project will be perfect for ancient Greece section. Oh, wonderful. You know what? Another thing to do for I'm going to say this for the academics. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we're caught up on the comments. All right, so doubt number one was, what was doubt number one? That's why I have to take notes now because I talk too much. Do I need a separate writing curriculum? Nope. Doubt to number two, what if my kids hate writing? No problem. Graphic novels, audiobooks, fan fiction. Doubt to number three, should I start algebra in 8th grade? Only if your kid is ready for it. There is no rush. And if you feel in your heart and soul and your ego that your child is going to be behind, you can catch up in high school by doing Silicon Valley math or Mr. D math, especially during the summer. You can catch up or get ahead. So make sure your child has mastered those math concepts. Okay. Okay. Doubt number 4. Am I doing enough? Is my child gonna get into college or a good high school with what I'm teaching? Okay. I think if you're showing up and you're adjusting with the curriculum, like you guys are, you're coming in, you're asking questions, you're trying. That's more than what a lot of teachers do in school, whether it's public or private school. So just on that front alone, I think your kid is going to be okay. I think that's enough. Let me just tell you a little pluggy plug. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I've been homeschooling for 15 years, but I've been in the education industry for about 25 years. Yeah, I'm old, y'all. I'm old. So I've seen a lot. And the one thing I've seen, and I have to always pinpoint, is, now this is my my latest book that I should have on Amazon, but this is supposed to be published 2 months ago. I'm so behind, but I'm gonna get there, y'all. From my couch to yours. What does that say? Progress over perfection every time. Am I doing enough? Does your child have a healthy relationship with learning? Is your child curious? Does your child have weaknesses that you're working on? My child doesn't like to read. Okay, now you have some tools to help them. That's doing enough. My child is weak in math. All right, let's find where those gaps are. Let's do a placement test. Let's see where you are. And let's not worry about what other people are doing, where their child is. Focus on my child in front of me. Am I doing enough? Are they going to be ready for high school? So this is the thing with high school. Okay. And I have 3 approaches to this. One child in public high school, one child in private high school, and two children in public high school. My oldest doing high school as a homeschooler, right? And the common thing I've seen starting high school, everything is really a review. Now, if your child is accelerated, they might be taking like an AP class, a gateway AP class, or honors class, and that's fine. Let's break it down by the child who struggles, the average child, and the accelerated child. And we'll address, am I doing enough for my child? Number 1, you are enough, okay? Because you're here. You're showing up. For the struggling child going in middle school and you're worried about, are they going to be ready for high school? You're going to, I don't care how long it takes, for math and for writing, okay? Because that's going to be some of their biggest challenges, okay? Definitely the math, because if biology is going to use some math, chemistry is definitely going to use some math, okay? And that's where, the potholes start to really appear, okay? Your goal, even if they're just now starting 8th grade, is to work on those foundational gaps, okay? You get your behind on Connie. You start at that kindergarten level, and you work those foundations, because when they go into biology, when they go into chemistry for this high school math, they're going to be using those basic math skills, okay? They're going to be doing fractions. Oh my gosh, they're going to be doing fractions. If you can expose your children, here's a secret. If you can expose your children to the metric system, I am going to do the video on this. If you can expose your child to the metric system, that will help them out a lot. It'll take more of the fear and the stress of math off them. Because for us, we're on the imperial king system for math. The rest of the world is on metric. So when you're having to convert and do all that kind of stuff, you might as well be learning new math, right? So metric system, and I have a wonderful cheap I should give it away. I'm gonna do it as a giveaway, because no. Okay, metric, hold on, y'all. Metric system, the Keys 2. Y'all know I love the Keys 2 series. And then I need to do the flip through, and then the giveaway. Now that's like, the giveaways usually cost me like $8 to mail stuff to you guys, but this little thing will probably cost me like $3. So I'm going to do that. But it's a great way to get your child updated on the metric system. Okay. Work on their fractions. That's going to be, let me write this down too. Okay. Let me do a video on, video. I love it when I talk to you guys, because ideas just come to my head. Okay, video on shoring up math skills middle school. Okay. So what you're going to do, because I already did this, you're going to expose them to the metric system. Okay. Should I do a giveaway for this? Because these books are heavy. It's going to cost me. I might be able to. I'll talk later about it. But you're going to shore up. Okay, so the books. Life of Fred, Fractions. It's a whole book, literature based on fractions. It's amazing. That was one of the breakthroughs for my son. Remember I told you I realized that literature based math, science was how because he learned visually and with stories. Just like us when we were growing up, if you're a certain age, Schoolhouse Rock, Sesame Street, seeing the stories, all the songs, rhymes, rhythms, that's also how you add trauma to people through that, but also how you learn and how you retain. And those approaches will help with those math problems, those math issues as they get ready for high school. So that's another thing that you can do when you're thinking, am I doing enough? If you covered those basic foundations in math, they are okay going to high school. Okay. Besides, most of ninth grade, at least the first month or two, is going to be a review. Okay. Now that was for math. For writing, now you're talking about stamina. They're writing more and sometimes faster, meaning the turnaround time. Okay. So you're looking at stamina. How much can you write in one sitting? How much can you get through in the week? Are they requiring a 5-paragraph essay each week? Some schools do that. Some programs do that. Or is it an essay a month, right? Usually at the beginning of the year, almost all writing programs will start with expository writing, meaning you're taking whatever you did over the summer or whatever, and you're going to be talking about that. That's your entry. Expository writing is your entry. Sometimes it goes by other names, but it's your entry into your writing program. Okay. Because you have something to talk about, right? Something you did or something that was done to you or whatever. So that's a good way to get your child to get comfortable with writing. Find something they're interested in, whatever. And then if you watch my video on it's either still in love with this writing program or how I use it. Anyway, I talk about my child who he didn't have the writing stamina. So he could barely write one sentence without, he didn't have the muscle stamina. And then he didn't like to write on top of that. And we wrote one word a day. And by the end of the week, he had a sentence. But I had a little extra, demands for what he had to do. But eventually he got to a point where he built up his stamina and his confidence. And he was able to knock out 5-paragraph essays with a thesis, no problem. But it took a good month to build him up. So right now, if your child 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, now's the time when you start homeschooling, if you haven't done so already, is decide on what you're going to write. If you have a writing program, remember you can have a separate writing program, okay? Or you can supplement your writing program if you already have one. If you see, oh, my son he still struggles with grammar. So when he's writing, it reads funny because he doesn't understand, subject verb agreement, or he doesn't know how to, structure his sentences, and he doesn't vary things, his sentence that goes into style and stuff like that. But you look and see what are the glaring gaps. Is it it's just too much writing? Is too much processing for your child? Hold on, let me fix this really quickly. Is it too much writing for your child? Do they not have the basic understanding for the structure of a paragraph? Okay, so I want to do this resource video so bad. So Michael Clay Thompson, I think, is the best at breaking down how to write a sentence, and then how to write a paragraph, and then how to write an essay. And I guess I need to do live stream on MCT. Sentence, paragraph, and essay. And there are online classes on OutSchool that teach just that. So if you see that there are gaps, or if your child hates writing, like some kids hate math, then you go back to the basics. So the equivalent to Khan Academy for math would be working on sentences. What is the proper construction of a sentence? And you can make that fun. You can make that super fun. I have a video on that somewhere in the archives, okay? You start with just writing sentences, right? You build up from that, and then you put those sentences together, and you look at the structure of a paragraph. What is the structure of a paragraph? If your child can learn the basics of the structure of a paragraph, they'll be okay their 9th grade year. Everything else now is just gravy, it's just added, it's embellishments. But if they have that basic structure of a paragraph, then they'll be okay to start. Okay, so am I doing enough? The basics of a paragraph, work on the writing stamina. Okay, for math, I already told you, get the placement test, fill up those foundational gaps. Okay, for reading, the graphic novels, the audiobooks, the fan fiction. So what is that? That's reading, writing, math. What else? We'll just leave it at that because this video is already long. Let's see. Doubt number 5. Should I teach to grade level or skill level? That's going to be a video all on its own because I have done multiple videos where I talked about in live streams my 7th grader doing 3rd grade writing. When I switched him to writing and rhetoric, my all-time favorite writing program, I just sharpied out the grade level and I started him on it, and we accelerated and we skipped some parts that he didn't need because he had already mastered, and it was great. Okay, so I forgot about grade level. I didn't care about it. I wanted a skill to be learned. Okay, so I prefer skill level. That's why when I say things in videos like, oh, this curriculum is 4th grade, I'm like, that's what they say. And if I put the grade level on something, it's because that's what the publisher did. And I don't want you to be confused and not knowing which curriculum to get. But remember, those grade levels are just suggestions. When I talk about the writing curriculum that I use, on the back, it has the grade levels that correspond to each book. And then and I would tell you guys, these are only recommendations because my 8th grader was doing the third grade level. Okay. Or it's the reverse. Your child might need your child who is in 5th grade might need 7th grade level stuff. Okay, so we don't care about grade level, it's skill level. What skill set do they have now or need, and then you teach to that. So don't worry about grade level. Grade levels are for boxes. Okay, it has no bearing. You got a whole person in front of you. Okay, so focus on skills over grades. Okay, it's like pants, you know, the book, the curriculum needs to fit your kid, not some mannequin dummy person that the executives at Macmillan or Holt put together to sell you some curriculum. Okay, because just to reiterate, so going into 9th grade, for those who are worrying about am I doing enough, it's okay if they're ahead in science and math but behind in spelling and writing. Not everybody's going to be at grade level or above in all subjects across all subjects. You're going to have, as with my kids, you're going to have all the subjects you teach, you're going to have different levels. Some are going to be ahead, some are going to be right at, some are going to be below. So you just got to work with what you got, okay? So teach the child in front of you. All right, almost done, guys. That was doubt number 5. Oh, I added a lot of doubts. We have 8. Okay. Doubt number 6. Can I loop subjects or do I need a strict schedule? That's an easy one. You're going to loop, obviously, strict schedules. I don't like schedules. I like routines. I have a whole video or 2 on routines. I have a whole book in my book. As a matter of fact, in this book, which is the future book coming out on lesson planning, I talk about how to lesson plan using routines. But actually, I think one of the longest chapters in my book, I need to do another giveaway of my book. What am I talking about? Schedules and routines. Yeah, here we go. Boom. This is how important routines are versus schedules. Where am I? Right here. Chapter 6. Come on, Restream. There we go. Right there. How to weave one. Restream, why are you fading on me? Maybe I need to do that little thing that the makeup artists do. Anyway. Come on. Wait, I need to get in front of this thing. Okay. How to weave one without unraveling. Okay. Routines are king. And I talk about how to do routines, whether you have multiple kids, you have one kid, you got a couple babies running around, you're in graduate school, you're sick, your morning sickness, you know, all kinds of stuff. A routine will be your best friend. So basically, looping is a lifeline. And if you don't know what looping is, that is, oh, you guys got a lot of comments. Okay. So looping is, let's say looping is good for subjects you don't really get to tackle, like science, spelling, arts, maybe history, what else to say? So just take those 4, right? And so history, science, let's choose an elective, coding, music. Okay. So looping says, okay, so it's Monday. We start with history. Okay. And we finish history. The next day, whatever that day is, we go into science. And then the next day, whatever that day is, we do, in addition to your core subjects, we do coding. And then after that, we do music. Okay. And then back to Monday, or whenever you finish your loop, you go back to what I say, history, science, coding, music. And you just keep looping through those subjects. So you hit them. You might hit them once a week or twice a week, depending on how many subjects you have in your loop, right? Now, what happens if it's Monday and you're doing history, but history, oh, we want to do more. So the next day or the next time you do your schedule, whatever, I mean, the next time you have set aside for your loop subjects, you continue with history. The next thing, science, just waits until you get there. Okay. So maybe you're spending a couple days on history and then you loop to the next one, which is science. You know, maybe you spend 3 days on science and then you go to the coding. Okay. But the thing is, you're doing those subjects in that order and you're just looping and going back around over and over and over again. It's like classical education. Classical education is one big loop, if y'all didn't know that. It's a loop in 3 parts. So you're doing history, you're doing, say, U.S. history. So at the grammar level, the elementary level, you're doing your ancients. And then the next time you're introduced to that, you're doing, I'm saying ancients, you're doing history. The first time you're doing ancients, whatever. And then the next time you're doing U.S. history. No, I'm gonna take that back. You're doing U.S. history, but you're doing it at like a lower level. And then the next time you'll be introduced to that history in elementary school. And then in a couple of years later, maybe late elementary, and then the middle school, you're doing history again. And then in high school, you're doing history again. So say you're doing U.S. history, you would have been exposed to U.S. history like 3 times. But at each level, it gets more intense, it gets more challenging. Okay, hope I explained that right. So basically, you're taking one subject and then you have 3 rounds at it, but you're at those rounds differently developmentally. You're looking at that topic as an elementary kid, and then you're looking at that topic again as a middle schooler, and then you're looking at that topic again as a high schooler. So you're being exposed to that U.S. history or biology 3 different times as you're growing, developmentally. Okay, hope that wasn't confusing. Let me catch up on some of these comments. I saw Houston around here. Let's see. Yes, love for all. Remind me when the more information that you wanted, because I'm so behind in the comments. We'll use love for all. Yes, the lives are always saved. They are always saved. see. Serenity, hey, that's another veteran. Hello from Houston, H-Town. What are your thoughts on AOPS, which is the art of problem solving? I love it, and I'll tell you why. Reluctant writer over here. Any any recommendations on online classes for writing? Oh, that's packed a lot of information. Okay, so the AOPS is for math. It is the art of problem solving. The AOPS, they are the founders of the Math Olympiads, and they are also the creators of Beast Academy. I just happened to have it here, so I did a flip through on it. Okay, and so you see here the art of problem solving. Okay, they are the go-to place for accelerated gifted math. Okay, I love them. They have, as a matter of fact, if you go to my YouTube channel, I have about 5 or 6 videos on them. I have reviewed their online class 2 times and their curriculum a lot of times. I've compared the curriculum with Saxon Math and Math Mammoth, and then another math curriculum. I have so many. I actually have a playlist just on math curriculum, so go check that out. But I can't praise them enough. They are excellent. And then for middle school, though, it's a different story. Middle school, so if you're using their books in elementary school, namely Beast Academy, or if you're using Singapore Math, also known as primary mathematics, your segue is usually, as they recommend, Richard, I don't know how you really say his name, Krasinski or something, and it's pre-algebra. It's not your grandmother's pre-algebra, y'all. It is very challenging. But you will use that, and then you will go into then you go into algebra, and it's very challenging. If you wanted to dial it down a level for middle school, and if you wanted your child to do algebra, you could do Forster's, Forester. I think it's Forster's or whatever. You'll find it, but it's algebra. That's a common branch if you don't want to do the Richard K book. The Richard K book has like a puzzle pieces, I think, on top. It's very, very challenging. I know in our math circle, that's the book they recommended. But but it's also very text heavy. And for some kids, because a number of kids who are really gifted in math have a lot of sensory issues, and there's just too much text on the page. And a lot of parents didn't like that. So they might go to Forster's algebra, or I'll have to pull it up. Or they go to, and this is, someone asked me about this, they go to All Things Algebra by Gina. Now let me show you this, okay? I'm sorry, I'm just hacking on the thing. So, still on middle school. I love this woman. I'm on Teachers Pay Teachers. I have done a video on her stuff. Look, what do you get out the way? Y'all, I don't play. Hold on. Why am I going in here? Let me go back. She is so good. As you see here, she has 165,000 reviews and 42,000 followers, and she's from my birth state. So anyway, she's retired now. This woman makes the best curriculum. And what I like about it is that, here, let's go to 6th grade. She sells the whole year, which is this one for 160, or she sells each unit, because you might not want or need the whole thing. So then if you don't want everything, then you can just get parts of it. So she has 6 parts for the year, right? Whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, express properties, and they're like $15 a pop. Let's see. $19 now. I got it was $15, but that's going to take you through, you know, a whole unit, right? So it is worth it. Her layouts are wonderful. From a design specialist, I love her lessons because they are designed brilliantly, just brilliantly. I can't say enough about that. For middle school math and high school, because she started off just doing high school, and then she dropped it down to middle school. You want Miss Gina. All things, you know, I should reach out to her and see if she can give us a discount. But this is what it looks like. She's got 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. So if you come down here, you can see all of her math units. 6th, 7th, pre-algebra, that'll be your 8th grade. Or algebra 1, 8th grade, geometry, algebra 2, pre-cal, okay? And then she has the activities to go with that. And then additional supplements, okay? This woman knows her shit, okay? So don't sleep on that. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, so for math, there you go. Reluctant writer over here. So I gave you some tips for that, and recommendations on online class for writing. Yes. That was in my academic resources, because I have 2 teachers, one that taught the Michael Clay Thompson paragraphs for writing. I forget what it's called, but it's his 2nd series book. Practice Island. No, the Grammar Island was the 1st book, and then the one after that, Paragraph Island or Paragraph Town. Oh, that's such a good book. You know, maybe I should start teaching. I want to teach writing. But anyway, those teachers that teach those classes online, you know what? I did not put that in my resources though. Those teachers, and these teachers are popular. So yes, I did. MCT, OutSchool teachers. So I do have OutSchool teachers. If you email me privately, I'll pull that up for you. But don't email me until Thursday, because my baby's going out of the country and I'm already erect trying to get him ready. But I'll hit you back though, Serenity. All right, catching up on comments, and then I'm going to have to get out of here. What time do I have to have them? Hold on, because I have to take them to Inglewood for their training. Okay, so I'm a living witness. Homeschool moms and dads. Okay, focus on faith is saying, hey, what time do I what time do I have to take them? Okay, cool. I'm good. All right, thank you. What? Oh, he can take them? Do I need to pick them up? That's fine if I have to. Really? Oh, okay. I'm glad I called. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm streaming now, so I just wanted to make sure I had enough time to get out there to take them, but I don't have to. All right, thank you. All right, bye. All right, we can talk. All right, I don't have to take them. Okay, so I'm a living witness, homeschool moms and dads, that you are more than enough. My 2 oldest children graduated from homeschool in the state of New York. Consistency is key. Let's give Focus on Faith her win. Thank you, Faith, for that testimony. Thank you for being a witness. I concur. And listen, y'all, if ever you guys want to come on and talk or share testimonials, or if you have products, or if you have another channel, a YouTube channel, or you're on IG, come on and share it. You know, we can make it like a homeschool spotlight, and you don't have to show your face. You can just do audio. Absolutely. And I wouldn't even, so what I would do, I would just do this. I would just, oh shoot, I'm on this. I don't know how to do it on Restream. You just take your face off the thing and it goes to audio automatically. But I would figure it out before you would come on though, y'all. But yeah, it would just be like this. Wait, why does it say EAN? Oh, Ebony and Nikki. Okay. Yeah. So if you came on you would just be whatever your name is, like focus on faith would be focus on faith, and the circle would just pulse with you talking. You don't even have to show your face. You just let me know. So if you want to come on and you're like, oh girl, my house is a mess, I'm a mess, I got you. You just do your voice. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Focus on faith. Okay, Diana says, my kid has expressive language disorder. Pause. Now, for those who don't know, expressive language disorder, because my middle son had that. As a matter of fact, Diana, I have a binder. I don't know where I got it from. I think at a consignment store. And it's a wonderful book. It teaches, it gives you lesson plans and activities to teach all kinds of different disabilities, sensory disabilities, expressive language disorders, you name it. I use that so much when my son was in elementary. But expressive language disorder is how you speak, right? How you express yourself, and that can manifest in lots of many ways. But yes, it can definitely affect a child. Excuse me, y'all. Your child's writing, because what they have all up here, it's hard for them to get it out. Okay, so if you're doing Charlotte Mason, where there's a lot of oral narration and dictation and things like that, it might be a struggle, right? If you're using rigorous curriculum, like say Rod and Staff for writing for your language arts, usually those are a lot of your religious curriculum tend to be very rigorous. It's a lot for them to have to express. That could be an issue. So maybe one day I should have a video on the ideal curriculum for different kinds of learning challenges. But let's finish reading. Okay, we are currently doing IEW, which stands for the Institutes for Excellence in Writing. That is Andrew Padua's program. Level 1. He loves the videos, but he struggles with writing his paragraphs. So here's the thing with IEW. We did the first 2 levels, the structure or something, the first one, and then the story was structure or style or something like that, and my children hated it. But my middle child liked it, and I'll tell you why. It was very formulaic, and it laid everything out. It was scripted, and it had a framework, boundaries, right? And my child liked that. It was like a cocoon around him, and it allowed him to be free to write, because he had all these buoys in the water and the floaties to help him. Everything was syncopated, to help him. But for my other kids, it was stifling because it was so structured, and it was like a straitjacket, especially when it came to the paragraphs, because there is this set way of doing things, right? I found the opposite of IEW to be something like Julie Bogart's Brave Writer. It's very like an open plan kind of writing, meaning it is child-led, curiosity-led, with a loose boundary that you can't see, but it's there, so they don't get lost and they have paralysis analysis, but it's there if needed. But once they log onto something, then you can give them more shape, more structure, because they've already locked on to something. So like the analogy would be, you're in the ocean in a paddle, and you're in the Pacific Ocean, the South Pacific Ocean, the South Pacific, and you're like, where am I going? Am I going to Antarctica? Going to India? Johannesburg in Africa? Australia? Where am I going? It's too much. It's just open, right? It's too much. But if you give yourself a little boundary, coordinates, you know what? We're going to Antarctica. Well, I know I'm going in this direction. I'm going south. So I don't have to worry about east, west, north, because I have a little bit of a structure now. I know I'm going south, okay? But it's still, Antarctica is pretty big, right? So maybe a little bit more structure. Okay, we're going on the west side near the Ross Ice Shelf of Antarctica. So now we're not just going south, we're going southwest, or opposite your way. We're going this way now. So now you have a little bit more structure, but now you know where you're going. So now you don't have to stress or be looking around and everything, because you know we have these coordinates to go to this location on Antarctica. So now I can relax and enjoy the paddling and the animals and the whales that I see, because I know I'm going here. Okay. But if I don't know where I'm going, I can't focus. I can't look at the great whales and the coral reef or the birds or anything, because I don't know where the hell I'm going. Okay. So with IEW, they had that structure where we're going southwest, but then they added more structure on top of it. We're going southwest and we can't deviate. So we're paddling, but we can't deviate within 100 yards. So, we start shifting too much. Get back into the middle. Then it becomes too much. You can't just free float going southwest. You have to be within this line to go. It's just too much. So I hope I was explaining it. So for paragraphs, it locks you into doing things one way. And for some kids, if that way doesn't gel with them, it's going to be a struggle. And that is a common complaint with IEW, is that it's like a one size fits all. Your kid either loves it or they hate it. If your child is a creative writer, they might not thrive. If your child hates writing or needs to be told, they need structure, a lot of structure, IEW is a gold mine for them. So just think about your child's writing style, their learning style, and then just plan accordingly. Okay. Hope that helps. Okay. Any suggestions? Okay. There you go. Let's see. My son likes writing and rhetoric. Oh, Kadesh. Yes. So near and dear to my heart. My most favorite writing curriculum. If I had to design my own, which I am, but I'm at the very, very beginning stages because I need these books I'm writing to be done, I would start with writing. I would teach writing. Oh, it breaks my heart that my kids hated writing because that was my favorite subject. But they're like, Mom, it's just too much. My excitement was too much for them. So somehow it went to the math part. So they in love with math that I hated, but I make sure they were going to be good at it, but then they loved it. But with the writing, I was just too much for them. But they love to write though. So I don't care. Goal accomplished. All right. So they like to write, but they write creatively. So I'm like, oh, you do like to write. They make these like manuals for these games that they play. They make their own manuals, and it's like graphic novel with dialogue and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's because of me. All right, where can we purchase your book? Oh, thank you, Crystal. In my description box, I do have a link to in Amazon, but you can go to Walmart, Barnes and Nobles. I'm going to say Target. But with Amazon, you can leave a review if you want to, which helps me out so much. But this is it. And you know what? I keep saying I'm going to just do, some videos on the book, go over some chapters and things like that. I'm going to get to it. You see, I'm barely hanging on with doing these live streams. I'm going to get to this. I'm the worst promoter of my stuff. So I'm going to do better, y'all. I'm going to do better. All this time I put in, I have 8 of these books. All different colors for each different subject. I promise I'm going to do a video and I'm just going to shamelessly plug my intellectual property. But Barnes and Nobles, there's or Amazon, there's a link down below. All right. But thank you so much, Crystal, for asking. And y'all, I did not ask Crystal to ask me that. All right. Let's see. Anya says, tips. Y'all, this is great. We have a great turnout. I guess this is the sweet spot in the morning. Tips for teaching logic. Okay. My favorite subject. Did you start a formal program in middle? I did my own program, and I think if you look at my curriculum review for 7th grade, I think I'm wearing a purple top or a blue top. My hair is like braided like this, but it's in a braid and it's on one side. I talk about logic. So my favorite, that's a fun, I need to do just a video on logic. So logic video. So I talked about 4 books. If you want a formal curriculum, I recommend The Art of Logic. Is it The Art of Logic? It's dense, y'all. The Art of Logic. But if you want something fun, my kids also did a logic class. Oh my gosh, they loved it so much. The guy, he would have his classes would sell out. The Art of Problem Solving. Was that it? The Art of Problem Solving? Because I'm getting all this Sun Tzu stuff. The Art of... Y'all, what is it? The Art of... Was it Problems? I don't think that was it. Does anybody remember what that book was? It's really the only logic curriculum for homeschoolers that's on the market. I mean, I have it on a bookshelf somewhere. Oh, here's the math book I was telling you about. Let me just show that to you really quickly. Let me share my screen. So this is the showing all my business. This is it. It's here. You see The Art of Problem Solving by, oh, this is a different author. That's the Solutions Manual. But what volume? What is this one? Oh, it's new. But let me see if they show the original. Geometry. We don't want geometry. We want the first one. That's pre-calculus, algebra. Okay, here it is. It's this guy right here, Richard Ruzhik, whatever. But all his books look the same. Scary. The Art of Problem Solving. And then while you're at it, if your child is doing that, maybe hop on over and grab this. It just showed. It's competition math. It was just showing. I actually love this for me. It was good for parents. Oh, it was up here. It just disappeared. Okay, but so I don't remember. It is, I don't know. I'll do it. I'm going to do a video. That'll probably be my next video because that's a fun one. But it's dense. I want to say The Art of Problem Solving. It's a black book. It's written in yellow, if anyone is familiar with that. But the 3 books that I love was Fallacies, which is a core component of logic. And then, I think I might have them over here because I like them so much. So it's 3 of them. And they're small books. One is... has lots of pictures. It has a picture for every kind of fallacy. Another book has lessons at the end of each fallacy. Actually, I think I did do a video on that. Let's see. I think I did do a video on that. Let me pull up my videos, YouTube. Okay, logic. And then I'll just send that your way. But the online class, oh, I don't have logic. No videos? Your recent, no, not recent videos. Okay, let me do one more check across. No, I'm not going to find it here. Search across your channels. Logic. No, I guess I didn't do a video, but in my mind, I did one. Anyway, you don't have to do a formal program. This could be part of your looping schedule, something you do once a week. Or you just focus on one fallacy at a time, and the fallacy will also build in the logic. Oh, the curriculum that I'm forgetting, it's like reasoning and logic, or logic and reasoning. It's a full-blown curriculum. It's a book. It's a heavy book. The book is really heavy. And then the other 3 that I'm telling you about, they're really easy. Like one is just, it's a fun read with like New York style newspaper illustrations with like a real life version, and then the explanation. And then the other book has that, but then it has like 1 or 2 lessons or an activity you can do at the end of each fallacy. And then the other one you could use to actually teach. It goes a little bit more deeper. It asks questions about the fallacy and things like that, and then the logic. So they're really great. So I'm going to make a video on that because that's actually really, really fun. That's a really fun type of subject to teach, Anya. Okay. But no formal program. That was a loop. We looped that in to our homeschool because we had so many things going on. But it was fun. And the kids, they would like read it while they're eating lunch or, just chilling. It has that kind of vibe to it. I would love to hear, this is from Katesh, I would love to hear the tips on logic. I've been doing a curriculum with my kids, but it's very biblically based, and I honestly wish it was more secular. Well, I got you covered, because should the logic be the next video? Maybe not. So what I need to do, I like to talk to y'all, but I also know people want to get their information and go. So, this will give me more videos and more ad money, because I gotta make money off this. So I could do the live stream. I know. I said this before and I didn't do it. Do the video, the pre-recorded video first. You guys can get the information in 10 minutes or 15 minutes or less. And then when I have the live stream follow up, then you guys can ask me more nuanced questions because you've been exposed to the information. Maybe you bought the book, maybe you're getting the book, whatever. Maybe it's somewhere hidden in your back closet. Now you can pull it out. So I think that might be, because I'm trying to find structure to, these videos, this homeschool channel now. So I think that's how we can chop it up. So, but yes, Katesh, we're gonna explore the logic. All right, Love for All says, you mentioned you would contact CTC Math Company, see if they can do a free trial. Yes, I do have that down because I need to know more about that program. I've heard about it for years. I only like dabbled in it for like a week or 2, and then we were out at our charter school. But I know other parents want more information. So I'll look at it just from a professional's standpoint of, the design of it and who it's an ideal fit for. And I don't know if it costs, things like, just the general breakdown of a curriculum and its usefulness and practicality and things like that. And now I'll let y'all know. Hey, the Newberry Tribe. I remember your original name. I made a live. You did. So good to see you. It's one of our OGs in the chat. Anya says, which logic program are you using, Love Katesh? Oh, yeah. Yes, it's the art of argument. That's it. That is it. It's the art of argument. Yes, that is heavy. I was surprised when I got the book. It's like 5 pounds at least. It was heavy. Let's see. CYO, you're probably responding to somebody. Serenity says, thank you for your time and suggestions. I will definitely hit you up regarding Michael Clay Thompson. We are currently working through Caesar's English 1. Excellent. Caesar's English. I love that book. The artwork is so beautiful. For those of you who don't know, Caesar's English is a vocabulary program. It's part of the Michael Clay Thompson's language arts universe. And so you have writing, you have grammar, you have spelling, you have poetry, you have vocabulary. And I might be missing something else. They cover everything. It is your very typical classically based language arts program. Very rigorous. I'm glad your child is enjoying. Well, I'm glad you're working through Caesar's English. Do you know, I don't know if they still have it, but online G3.com, they always offer Caesar's English online. Okay. It was a good class. Good class. I always use my charter funds to pay for it. I think it was like $250 for the semester, and we use our charter funds for that. So that's something to look into. Let's see. Katesh is just answering Anya. Diana says, he loves the structure because he hates free writing. Yes, I was trying to think of free writing, creative writing. He does good with the 3 keyword outline, but he gets frustrated when he cannot write it on paper. So do you mean physically he can't write it on paper, or is it the mind-hand connection that's the disruptor? Because sometimes you have all this going on and you can speak it out, but people don't know that there's a lot that goes on between thinking your thoughts, gathering your thoughts, synthesizing your thoughts, and then transferring those thoughts into a written form, something physical, something concrete and tangible. There's a lot that goes on with your body. So if that is the case, then don't make him write it on paper. Why does he have to write it on paper? Can he dictate it and then just print it out? Do you have to turn it in to like a charter or to your state, or do you have to have it written out? If he can get it done, he's writing, right? Okay. If it's an issue of, if it's an occupational issue, then you have other avenues where he can dictate it to you or to a sibling, or he can do text to speech to text. Lots of free programs to use speech to text, so it can come up on the computer, and then he just prints it out, and then he has his writing. Okay, if there is like a occupational issue where he can't do it or it's frustrating, but if it's just it's like he's thinking it, but then when he's thinking it, he can't quite write it the way he's thinking it. That happens to writers all the time. That happens to me. That happened to me last week in my second act, one of my scenes. If that's the case, then have him just get any kind of recorder on your phone, on the computer, and just let him talk it out, and then let him write it out. So if he's thinking all this, but he can't just get it out with his hand, then let him get it out verbally, and then let him just transcribe what he was saying. Sometimes, just like, when I'm talking to you guys and things come to me, I have to have this interaction so it comes out, and then I write it down. Maybe he needs to have that, and then he can write it down. So maybe give him a different way of getting it down on paper. That might be a key to unlock. And if that doesn't help, well, we try something else. But if he's writing, doesn't have to be physical, but he's writing, meaning he's taking just masses of words and putting them into some kind of structure or pattern, your baby's writing. You just have to find a way to record that. Okay. And for now, that's where he is right now. That's where he is. And then you just work that and then go to the next level where you can get him to get it on paper. But right now, let him do what he do. All right. Serenity, do you recommend the online G3? Exactly, I do. I loved it. I don't remember the teacher who taught it. And remember now, I haven't homeschooled in a while, so I don't know if the same teachers are there, but the class was always a good class, and it was always full. It did fill up. Let's see. What do you think of critical thinking? I love critical thinking company. I loved it. Let me tell you a little something. Now, when my child was going to be in the GATE program, which, by the way, don't do the GATE program. It's a CIA op. No, I have not been listening to Candace go on about how they harvest people from the GATE programs in elementary and middle school. I was in a GATE program in middle school, and then I had an invitation to go to Duke for their programs, to look at John Hopkins, whatever that John Hopkins program is. John Hopkins is in Baltimore. It's a really prestigious school, university, but it was they have this like program to help identify gifted kids and stuff like that. But anyway, all that to say, so if you did a GATE program, which stands for Gifted and Talented Education, in my day it was the TAG program, Talented and Gifted Program, and it might go by different names. Or if you just have a program for accelerated kids, 9 times out of 10, the teacher was using material from the critical thinking company. So when my child got into that program, I was talking to the teacher because his teacher was actually the teacher of the GATES program. So I was, oh, what kind of program do y'all use? I'm like, what makes y'all different from like the rest of the school? And when she was showing me the stuff, I looked at the bottom because I'm a curriculum designer. I know curriculum, I know publishers, I know all that. So I looked at the bottom and it said critical thinking. No, it said CTC. I was like, so I said, what else you got? So she was showing me everything, never the book, just the Xerox copies. Oh, Xerox, I'm dating myself. Just, the copies. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, so you just printing stuff from the critical thinking company and calling it gifted and talented? I said, is there anything else y'all do, like projects or what? Mm-mm. And this is a affluent school, high achieving. And I was like, well, ain't this about something? Y'all, when people put tags, gifted, accelerated, high achieving, it's what people used to do regularly like 50 years ago. And I'm not kidding. Like when I was when my son was in the UCLA math circle, there were probably maybe half the kids were gifted. I mean, they were doing calculus in 4th grade. That's freaking gifted. Everything else is just a higher standard, because you can teach to that. If you have smaller classes, you have a motivated and capable teacher, you can teach these subjects. You can, because when you look at other parts of the world, you have so many kids in the country who are operating at a higher level. So it's not like, oh, well, their parents just really did this and that child is really, really gifted. No, that means there are systems in place to help you accelerate at a level that seems gifted to us, but it's average to the rest of the world. And that pisses me off, because parents think their kids are not gifted or talented, or they don't grab this curriculum because they think it's too much for their child, and they're shortchanging their child. If you look at, I was looking to see if I had a book here. If you look at, say they're reading, I love their detective series, science detective, reading detective, math detective. If you look through it, you're going to see word problems. You're going to see visual discrimination. What do I mean by that? Visual discrimination is abstract thinking. All this gifted learning stuff is training yourself to think in abstracts, okay? It's a discovery-based approach to learning. Why discovery-based approach? Because you have to work things out in your mind first without being spoon-fed and regurgitating. It's critical thinking skills. But if you give your child the space and the time and the tools to learn it, they're gifted. This stuff was done. You ever think about the people from the 1800s, the letters they wrote and the books they wrote, and it's so elegant and sophisticated, but everybody did that. The janitor wrote like that. Everybody was like that. That was the standard. And then somehow we got smarter and dumber. So I'm off my rant. So critical thinking company, I love it. But don't even think for a minute that it's too much for your child. You put that, you look at it first. And then to be familiar with it, and then you put that in front of your child. Don't let your child be, I said one thing, like for math, my child was not going to be scared off by the vocabulary or by symbols. So I made sure when they were babies, they were surrounded by symbols and they had the vocabulary. So when teachers indirectly scared them off from math, they would be like, whatever, okay. Equations and X this and all that stuff. Nothing. So we just have to expose the children and not think they're going to fall apart. Okay. I love critical thinking company. Put it in front of your kids. It's not just for gifted kids. It's for the parent or educator who has time to sit with their child and work with them. And not all of it is all hard, but it is, it is teaching your child to think critically. Okay. And not be an information gatherer and spit out informationer, because that's how the schools teach us. All right. Rant over. You're welcome, Crystal. He has so much in his head that it's hard to get it organized and get them on paper. Okay, that's perfect. That is a common problem. That is a common problem with adults. Do the speech thing. Get it in another form, another medium. And then when he gets around to it, he can write it on paper. Okay? Because the whole part is like me. Like when I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to get it. It's too much. He probably has a phone. You have a phone. Put it on recorder. And just set it down. Let them talk. You can probably go online and buy you an old school tape recorder and just let them talk. Or on your computer. You have lots of free speech to text. He probably like that. And then you can, and some of them are so nice, you can have it read back to you in different languages. Different accents and different voices. So have fun with it. But it's there. The option is there, Diana. See, he does language therapy, but I would like to help him at home as well. He needs to have a writing portfolio at the end of the year. Got it. Okay. So, a writing portfolio at the very most, they should be asking in a writing portfolio is maybe 4 writing pieces. And I say 4 at the most, because they probably want to see variety. But depending on the child, they might need a month or a semester or a quarter to get through a writing assignment or a writing project. So you can vary it up for his writing portfolio with 1 essay, maybe something academic, another essay that's creative. It doesn't have to be essay, but something creative writing, which could be poetry, a narrative, anything like that. It shows different kind of writing versus academic writing. Okay. And the academic writing can be something small. It doesn't have to be like an essay. It could be a little newsletter that he puts together. It doesn't have to be a 5-paragraph essay. Okay. Especially if they're not ready for that. But then like the creative or the free writing or something like that shows a different side of writing. And then maybe then you're starting to get into maybe something mixed in with literature or grammar, spelling, punctuation, the components that make up writing. That can be included in that. So, but if they just strictly want to see writing styles, then you can have, an expository paragraph, a narrative, an argumentative or persuasive, okay, and then an academic. Those 4, because those are your 4 main writing components, okay? Expository, narrative, persuasive, academic. And sometimes they might go by other names, but those are basically it. And they don't have to be all 5-paragraph essays. They could be a 3-paragraph essay, okay, for the writing portfolio. If they only like specifically writing stuff, not language arts combined with that, okay? But remember, the writing can come in different styles. It doesn't have to be, thesis, paragraph 1, 2, 3, conclusion. It doesn't have to be all of it. Doesn't have to be just like that. It's lots of ways you can show writing. Okay. As a matter of fact, Diana, is your son doing the the Caesar's English? No, I think that was someone else. But maybe DM me if you need more questions about what to put in a writing portfolio. Okay. You're welcome. All right. We are caught up on the comments. So we have been on here for almost 2 hours. I still have 2 more doubts and then we'll get out of here. I promise. Okay. Okay, so the last one we talked about was, hey, I'm missing 7 and 8. What happened to them? Did y'all take my paper? I should have numbered these. Okay. Okay, I think this is it. Okay, so number 7, the number 7 doubt. Here we go. What if my kid resists everything? Well, that's at any grade level. It could be elementary or high school, right? What if my kid resists everything? because that's really their developmental level, is to resist everything. Because remember, they're thinking critically now, right? So they're questioning everything, which is good. Give them ownership. But respectfully, let them push back on what you're saying and what you're doing within reason. Okay. Because, then we start getting into parenting stuff and like, nah, Jack, we have left academia and now you're in my territory. You about to get choked out. I'm just kidding. But when they're pushing back for resistance, they're wanting to exert themselves as adults. They're young people, they're young adults, right? So give them choices. That's probably what they want. They want these choices now. Let them pick the literature book to read for the month or two, whatever. Let them make the order. Let them choose the project style or the project that they're going to do. Let them choose their out school class. Give them choices, give them their independence. Remember from the first video in this series, we talked about mindset and development. They want more freedom to be independent. That's one reason why you're getting that resistance. So give them that independence in little pieces, little doses, okay, to mitigate some of that resistance. Okay, let them choose. What's the worst that can happen? If they're choosing, they have more buy-in, they're more likely to do it and enjoy it. All right, or at least now they know and they have a better understanding of themselves, what they like, what they don't like. So give them all these chances to make changes, make mistakes, make choices, learn from them as they're moving along in adulthood. Okay, so don't think of it as them just trying to hate on you or just being disagreeable. And I'm sure that's part of it, but give them choices. Okay, don't be stuck in we have to do this, we have to do that. Let them try something that seems fun to them. Okay, let's see. Doubt number 8. Do I need to teach study skills now? Please and thank you. Don't be like me. Teach it. I actually made a curriculum for my kid. As a matter of fact, I need to do that as a giveaway. Okay. My study skills curriculum. I think it's like only 30 pages. I mean, I can always redo it and add more to it. But this is the time now where they need to start doing best practices, okay? Meaning getting them to sit down at a certain time for a certain length of time. You want to start creating habits, okay? Now you're in the process of habit forming, habit creation. And so you also want to teach them how to study for subjects they hate or subjects they're not interested in. So say they love math, well, they have no problem sitting down doing the math work, whatever, but they hate writing. They might sit down and do their work and just mind be off in space, doodling or struggling, not really knowing what to do because they don't know how to learn. We haven't taught children how to learn. And part of that is learning how to study for the material that they are learning. Okay. So, I think absolutely. I know OutSchool has lots of really good study skills classes. They teach the basics of time management, organization. These are executive functioning skills, and these are actually life skills, but you start now so your child can develop good skills, going forward, and they have it honed in. Okay. When they start to really when these skills are emerging and they're starting to learn more about themselves, they might know that, oh, I'm a last minute person. I can do this last minute and still know what's going on. Or they realize, oh no, I need to see a clear big picture ahead of time. So they might need a calendar where they see the whole month in front of them. The other person might just need to know what's going on today. They have it all mapped out for the week, but they just might need to know what's going on today. They just need to focus on that. But they need those exposures so they know how they are as a person. They don't know who they are as a person. They're just a lump of clay. So the more you expose them to things, the more they have input to try things and then see how it applies to them. Okay. So yes, do it gradually. So maybe the first semester you're teaching organization, because the first thing is you're getting all this information. So what do you do with the information? How do you decide what's important, what's not important? And then how do you organize that information? Okay. Are you using Google Docs? Are you a digital person? Are you a paper person? Just small little steps like that. Okay. You know, I did a video on planners, and because I went well, my sister is big into planning and scrapbooking, and some of these women, they have like their washi tape and all their color coding and tabs and stuff like that, and then there's people like me with just one pen and a notepad, and they have like 20 different color pens. Maybe that's your child. These are things you need to know. Does your child need 20 highlighters and different pens and colors and gel and stuff, or do they do bullet journaling? Do they like to do bullet journaling, or they like to write on grid, like 1-inch graphic paper, or just notebook paper, or no notebook paper? These are all the things that you want to start testing with your child to see what they are or what they like. Okay. So yes, teach study skills now. It's never too late. It's never too late. Okay. And it's even better if you can model that. Okay. If you do it to yourself, or if you need to do it, model that. All right. Oh, and that is it. That was the final doubt middles. I definitely have to make a pre-recorded video. Nobody's gonna watch this the whole 2-hour live. And this thing is so big because I have my academic resources on here. I'm like, oh man, that's 4 hours of talking. So going forward, we will do the academic series, but I'm going to focus it on one subject per video, so it's not so long. Y'all have any questions, comments? Let's wrap them up so I can get out of here. It's almost 2 hours. We're 1 hour and 55 minutes in. Where do I DM you? You can, I shouldn't say DM because I'm really never on Instagram. Just send me an email, and I'm going to put that in the chat once I spell it correctly. So how are you guys liking the morning sessions, homeschool knockouts? If that works for you, then that's perfect for me, because aside from my husband telling me I don't have to take my son and his kids to practice or to training, I can talk for like 2 hours. Okay, homeschool knockouts okay, so just email me homeschoolknockouts@gmail.com with your questions. If it takes me a little time to get to you, that means I'm digging up resources for you, because I don't just send one word, one sentence responses. I usually have detailed responses. Sometimes it might take me some time. So your email might be open in one of my windows, and I might be adding to it. So if you haven't heard from me in a couple of days, don't worry. I'm probably really adding to what I'm saying to you. All right. Let's see. You're welcome, Anya. She says, thank you for your time and advice. Oh, y'all, please hit the like button so I can, I'm never regular on YouTube, so I lose a lot of subscribers and a lot of notifications. So if you can hit like for me, that will let YouTube know. Okay, she's back, y'all. So we'll start sending out notifications. Danielle's Perfect Home says, my goal this summer was to learn my teaching skills excellent and how my children's and my children's learning styles. This will improve our next school year a lot. Thanks for sharing. Well, you know what, Danielle, that is a win for you. It's a mindset win. And I congratulate you on doing that. That is wonderful to hear. Thank you, Crystal. And then Love for All says, I never know how my timing will end up. So whenever you are on and I'm available, I will definitely be on here. Okay, good. Okay, so it looks like, since now my son is really into creating crypto, there's this guy that we follow, Keenan Grace. I've been following him for 8 years, and he teaches his trading class Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 o'clock in the morning, my time here. So I'm like, oh, because my nephew called me yesterday. He's like, Auntie, we got to get this crypto. I'm like, I've been in crypto for 10 years. You guys are Johnny come latelys. But so they want to do the live stream together. So we might just do the live stream on Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, I have my HIT class at the gym. But I've been kind of like I've been needing a break from the HIT, and I just kind of been working out on my own, not a class. So I think I can give up Wednesday mornings and then do the live stream for you guys. No, I can do Monday, because my favorite instructor on Monday, he doesn't teach on Mondays anymore. But I know in the poll you guys said Tuesday, and then Wednesday was the second choice. But either way, it's going to be in the morning. Okay, it'll be in the morning. So I might just have to play it maybe week by week, either Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. But I think Tuesday. Right now, Tuesdays it works fine. No, because I really want that Keenan class. Probably Wednesday, because the workout class. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. The workout class, I can go to that guy because he's now replacing the guy on Monday who left, and then Friday and Saturday. So I can get my HIT class Monday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. And then Wednesday will just be, I'll just do leg days on my own. Yeah, that's perfect. So I can just do leg days on my own. All right. So I think we might be doing Wednesdays going forward now. Wednesdays in the morning, 6 a.m. 6 a.m. versus 6:30. So that way we have like if we need it, we have a full 2 hours because it's almost 9. So will be 6 o'clock. All right. So, and then if for those of you who have to, do whatever, just listen to this on the playback. I'm going to try to start talking intentionally as if this were a podcast, because a number of you said that you listen while you're cleaning or doing, laundry or whatever. So, so you don't mind the long, the video. So I'll keep that in mind. So whenever I'm saying something, I'm showing pictures, I'll try to remember, hey, I have people who are only listening and not watching. And I need to do that podcast thing on YouTube. So much to do. But anyway, I hope you found some value in this, some value. Oh, by the way, I do have a newsletter. I haven't been sending them out, but I'm doing better because now I have awareness that I need to send them out. I was supposed to be sending them out on Friday, and I am. So I am resurrecting my newsletter, and I have like maybe 600 people on it. I don't even know if they're still around, but I'm going to send out the newsletter on Friday. And then I'm going to have the flip through for the logic books and the flip through for the metric system from the keys too this week. So expect some stuff coming around, but I'm off grid tomorrow because my baby's going out the country. That's the one that took 4 months to learn fractions. And so I'm very, very nervous. So thank you guys so much for showing up. I'm so happy. I did not know if anyone was really going to show up, because y'all said in the morning doesn't mean you were actually going to be there in the morning. Love for All says, a good thing to do for homeschoolers is to ask your child, what can we as teachers do better? Oh, I love that. I love that. Kids have insights, and they watch us and they watch other people and other things. So when you think about it, Madison Avenue, they only want their information to sell you products from kids. So what does that tell you? Talk to your kids and ask them, what can you do better? But you tell them, you better come at me with respect and let me know. Not like, no, never mind. Just, ask your kids. So that was a great comment. Love for all. Let's see. Crystal says, thank you for all that you do to help us homeschool parents keep it together. Oh, you're welcome. We've all been in it, it's parenthood, motherhood, teacherhood. We're all in this pot. I'm listening now while we are schooling, and I'm organizing. The multitasker. Yep, that's what we are. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. We are officially 2 hours and 2 minutes in, and I'm going to try to do clips from this, maybe on the weekend. No promises. But friends in my author group were like, oh my God, you can so really monetize this whole concept. Why don't you have clips out? Where's your online course? Where are the rest of your books? I'm like, because I'm writing fiction. Y'all don't know. I am a fiction writer, and I have this wonderful series I'm working on. And I wrote like 4,000 words yesterday. I might share it with you guys. And I have to get my other YouTube channel for my author channel, which is Diana Quinn, and get that out. So I'm between working on the 8-book series, the small pocketbook series, and then my fiction series. And then I have started an online course. I just haven't finished it. I have to record it, and I don't like my backdrops. That's why I haven't recorded the the parts for the online class because I want to paint this and, you know, whatever. But I don't know. That's me procrastinating. All right. We are going to get out of here. Last couple of comments. You are a true blessing in the homeschool community. I appreciate you dearly. Mwah. Thank you so much, Serenity. Thank you. Focus on faith, and love for all has the final comment. Take care. Good luck and safe travels for your son. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. I love you guys. There's going to be a video on Wednesday because that's what I said. So it'll probably just be the flip through. So I need to go ahead and record that now so I can focus on doing this last minute packing. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.